Alright. So as you know, yesterday we had an amazing day. Halloween!
Yes!
So we went through quite a lot of things, and today we're going to implement more. And for the people that were not here, we covered quite a lot of stuff, but with your team you can create more momentum and ask them, what happened yesterday, what did I miss out? So that you can get a little bit of momentum in there. Today we're going to call it the chatbot power, which is fantastic. Very, very, very excited. We have an amazing speaker today joining us on stage.
Yes.
Should we announce it now or later?
No, later.
Oh, surprise, surprise. All right. Then we have the ad power, the video power, plan, and the super VA. Yeah. So before we move on for the day, I really we wanted to have a chat with you all on see how everything is going from yesterday. And we wanted to frame the day of going, there's some of the Mafians that are here, they've already gone through some of these beautiful content. And I just last night when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, you know what, I've been to UPW, Tony Robbins event, every single year for the last 4 years. Is that not because I'm slow? And I don't get it, yeah? I got it the first time. But the thing is, every time I go back, I go, this is new. I didn't hear this before. He must have added some new content. And then I had some of the crew members, they actually were my friends, and I said, wow, Tony Robbins this time, that was the second time I went, this time added some new content. And they were like, no, we're actually sitting at the back and we are looking at the exact word, at the exact minute, every actual UPW is the same. And I was like, what? Shut up. I was here a year ago and I did not hear this bit. And he was like, no, it happens. You know why? Because our brain is wired to, it's got a filter. And you go, too much information, shut down. And at one point your brain will shut down and you won't hear any more information because you go, it's too much, right? So coming back to these masterclasses, even if you have heard bits here and there, they're going to help you to now open up that filter and go, what else can I take in today? And there's people that are really successful on social media, and yesterday had some aha moment going, that was the missing piece, I didn't realize, there was something missing. So always be open.
I think also, I guess, put it back to these guys, because these guys are also educators, teachers, they talk about their expertise. Who here gets worried about repeating themselves to their clients and stuff? Should probably be everyone, yeah? That's just like, the imposter syndrome, all of those, shiny object, all of those things that are not real. It's your fear, because your people actually need the repetition, because what you're talking about at an unconscious level, a subconscious level, is not for them. For them, it's all news. And repetition, Tony Robbins, I'll quote him, repetition is the mother of all skill. And knowledge, yes, if you accumulate it is one thing, but knowledge is also not creating a transformation or a change for you, right? It's only when you start doing something do you truly know it. Yeah, knowing it is not enough, but doing it, which is what you guys did wonderfully, which brings me to the point. We read stories, we saw photos, you were being creative with images. I saw who was the little girl there?
My daughter.
Is it your daughter?
Oh.
I told you it was his daughter.
Yeah.
He had a photo of her like being on him, and you weren't showing your face.
Literally snoring.
Yeah, right. Right, but we saw a side of Andrew, like I didn't know if you were a dad or married or whatever, so now I kind of go, okay, he's got a little girl, we've got that, we're both parents, right, kind of thing. What are the feet photos that you guys did, the barefoot stuff, that was really creative with, the funny selfie, which was a footsie? I'm trying to convert the foot thingy into selfie into footsie. Oh. Anyway, so congratulations. Would you like some feedback on some of the stuff? Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to open up our Facebook and go through and check out some things and give you like a beautiful feedback. So sometimes it'll be like, oh, you could have done this as well. So it might be a bit constructive. So we're Italians and wogs,
Yeah.
So we know, we're a bit straight and we're going to tell you a few things and you'll go, oh, but you did a great job. We just want to get you to the next level. Yeah, so we're going to go through that. I think we should change this room around a bit before they get too comfortable. What do you reckon,
Right,
sis?
so how are we doing it?
Because we've got beautiful Sveti now
Yes.
is there by herself. We had a beautiful team here, and now she's by herself. Which I'm
Okay.
going. All right. So how about every
So
single?
Annika's part of the back row team, so she can join her team now that they've arrived. And I think Sveti can come because
that
these guys
okay?
are new. So Sveti, why don't you join either the second or third row team here, and that makes it good?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, perfect.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome. You're right.
Oh, you want to go there? Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Awesome.
And so then you guys can move one step this way so you're all close to each other. Awesome.
Perfect, guys.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Now it's a bit more like that. In the meantime, I'll go.
So just remember, if what we're saying is triggering you on some level, if stuff is triggering you,
Oh,
Michael! Who's Michael?
Michael, you're gonna be sitting by yourself there now.
No. Michael, here, Michael.
Join Sally over here, please, because you're in this beautiful group. Fantastic. All right, there we go.
Okay. What was I going to say? All right, about being triggered. We're not necessarily here to be liked of what we tell you. And some of you might think these girls are crazy. I could never do that in my life. I could never post. But it's up to you what you decide. Okay. So today also let's commit to be here at 100%. Turn our phones off. Like, put it off. Don't put it on vibrate. Just turn it off. Of course, if there's an emergency, of course, have it somewhere and step out of the room if you need to do stuff. So let's be here, present, 100% playing, taking part in the challenges. And Francesca, you're about to show some of the... So some of my feedback was some of the stories were way too short, okay? It was almost as if, I'll do this, I'm committing, I'm doing the homework, but... It wasn't like, explained that there was lack of emotion in the story, okay? So that's my first point of feedback. The one story that I really enjoyed reading, Aldwin, yours was very descriptive. You took me into that world of how you grew up, what happened, what you went through, and all of that. Yeah, I know, but I'm wasting time. Okay. Because you said, I was feeling, yesterday you told me fill the time while I'm fixing the computer, and you ready?
And everyone in the room suddenly just went, all the pain for wasting time.
She's filling in while you're getting ready.
I know!
I'm fast, I'm done. 10 minutes.
Okay, please share. So who are we looking at?
So we've got Terry. Are you okay to give you some feedback?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Day 2 with Francesca, Natasha, 50 other wonderful people. That's really cute. I love it. Now, what we could have also added in here is maybe a selfie of yourself in the room so that you can, so people, the reason why we want to add selfies of yourself is not because we're full of ourselves and look how beautiful I am. It's not about me, it's not about you. It's about showing that presence and that momentum that people will start to say, you look like you're everywhere. That's what you want. You get that already?
I do.
Fantastic. When you get that, that means that you are on the really verge of going, oh my God, the business is going to explode. That's what's happened. Awesome. So it's great to have that because that still shows that you're going to places. But they want to see.
It's more promotional of us rather than of you.
Yes.
And it should be more about you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's certainly, we're grateful for that.
Very grateful.
But certainly you with your group of guys with
I
the...
did that in the car when I pulled up
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No
even,
team.
I know. So you could even just take a selfie of yourself outside the building and go about to go inside this amazing, and talk about it. This is just a bit of feedback. Like it's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's great that you did it. And so, but how there's no interaction except obviously me. So you might want to go and say, what event have you been this month that you've really loved? Right,
Yeah.
so you get your people to talk to you. You want, whatever you're doing, you need to get that interaction, that people, commenting and being embracing and saying, oh, I've been to a workshop, that was great too. Or, oh, I haven't been for too long, I need to get myself out there. So that's how you empower your people. So everything that we do is going to have a goal. It's going to have either a ticker box or, do some sort of action. Yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Also, another thing, if I can add on, I often don't like sharing events or personally, I don't think they get as much engagement when it's an external area you're sending people to.
Yeah.
So if you look at a lot of our walls, we actually have our own pictures, non-shared content. It's just basically posted and written by us, so pretty much curated and created from scratch because Facebook does not prioritize outside links. They want people to stay within Facebook. I know that's a Facebook event that you tagged in there, but even so, I think you'll get great engagement if it was just a photo and with some.
Can I just say how when I did that, I just did a check-in to Marketing Hub, and that's what came up.
Yeah. And that's great.
So and then what Facebook will do automatically to help you, Facebook wants you to be engaged. So they will help you. They will try to do things to make it fast for you, which is great. So what you could do is if you add a photo even after, it will still accept it. Yeah.
All right.
What we want to go through as well is a bit of what buying box did we tick.
He's passed out.
I need to go around.
He's passed out.
I know. He's been to the park this morning. He's got his walk. Who said that I should go for a walk? There you go. So what happened? What buying box did we tick here? Remember the buying box we talked about yesterday? What buying box did we tick here?
Social proof.
Social proof. Yeah. Okay. How we could have done a better social proof if you did a photo inside of the room with lots of people. Yeah, that would have been even better social proof. Yeah,
To show the 50 wonderful people.
Yes. But it's still good for social proof because you're talking about it, so it's great. Yeah, do you see how it's always thinking about what box am I ticking? What am I writing this for? It's also important to do that.
Who saw the photos in the Masterclass Graduates album? I put up all the photos the gorgeous Vanessa took. Did some of you see them?
Yeah.
Go and scrape them off there and use them. They were beautifully created, and a lot of you guys have been captured. She was great at going in different groups and taking photos, you know, and I'll put the next lot in that album there. So
Get Tina to put all the other ones that Vanessa took yesterday. So
I did, sis, I put an album, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Photos.
It was 80 or something.
It took forever to load last night.
Yeah, they were
10
beautiful.
minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go next person.
Andrew?
You care for some feedback?
Go if you like.
Fantastic. So Andrew is saying, well, I was going to go to a 2-day
Social media master.
on day 2 of the social media masterclass to learn from the amazing Natasha and Francesca. Might stop it. But I seem to have developed a growth. I'm not sure I can. All right, what box are we ticking here?
Real life.
That's a big one. That's a big.
You had your full.
Yeah, so I was talking to a couple of people today. A couple of people was like, I need to connect with Andrew because I need some sales tips. So you have made impression yesterday, and these will get people to the next level, of trusting you, of going, oh yeah, it's not just a hard salesman. Because what people
He's a dad.
think about, when people say this is a sales coach, you'll be like, oh, he's going to teach me how to be a hard ass, and I don't want to do that. And some people might avoid you, right, thinking that that's what it is. This is going to get you clients because you're going to be a salesman, but you've got a heart. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because in the people's head, unfortunately,
Yeah.
think a salesman doesn't have a heart, which is not true. And obviously that's the case. Yeah?
I'll just leave the room.
Which is not true.
I know.
Yes, I'm saying what everybody's thinking right here.
Yeah.
So now we go,
it's great.
actually, he's good at sales, but also he's a nice person. I might check him out. I might go and see if I can talk to him now that I'm not scared of him. Does it make sense?
Yes.
So these posts are priceless. Even if you're thinking, why would I need to do that? It's not showing the face of the way we put the head in the face like that, so you can't see it, right? It's fantastic. It's perfect. I don't have anything to add to that because I think it's actually good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
For me, it's the humour that creates.
there was humor there too.
And like if I'm looking to go and listen to a speaker, if I can see that they're humorous, I'm actually more interested.
Yes.
in
Sarah,
going.
spot
Another
on.
box.
Yeah.
Another box. The humor box.
Yeah, fun. Spot on. Absolutely, Sarah. Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on.
One more.
To, One more. So the other thing I could have maybe, the only thing I could say is I'd ask the question. So what do you think this is? Like what, maybe ask what some sort of question. Have you ever had this growth before? And people will go, well, show me your...
And then they'll start talking.
And people
Show me your growth.
Humor. Tick, Francesca. Tick.
Real.
All
right, Sandra.
Anyway, so
Where is
what I
Sandra?
want to say is you need to get your other people to share photo of the kids,
Yeah.
somehow. Because everybody loves to share photo of the kids and the dogs.
Yeah.
True.
So
And
you gotta
cats.
find a way to get that engagement, yeah? All right. Move on.
Sandra.
Sandra, you can you give some feedback?
Yes,
Fantastic. All right, sis, can someone read it for me because I'm dyslexic?
Today in the Social Media Masterclass with Francesca and Natasha, we were asked to write about our story. It dawned on me that it's something I discuss quickly at my meetups and workshops, but not here. So for those who don't know, this is me. 7 years ago, I found myself hitting rock bottom. I did a 180-degree turn. Had it been a 360, would have been up the top again, but I was right down the bottom. After raising 4 kids, it finally dawned on me that I had been living on autopilot, and when things turned bad, I didn't know how to turn my life around. I began to wonder why some people get everything they want from life and I was barely surviving. That's when I discovered NLP and timeline therapy. After realizing I was my own worst enemy, I went on a personal journey of discovery and become aware of the unconscious beliefs I was holding on to that were working against me. I now show others how to turn their lives around with the 7 steps to living with intention so that they can create their life they only once dreamed of. With these steps, I turned my life back around successfully, booking out my one-on-one coaching business in 3 months, and now have established the Institute of Oneness Integration, training practitioners in NLP, timeline therapy, hypnosis, and coaching.
Beautiful. And then you've got a beautiful photo, and you've got actually 6 comments. So you've got 6 people interacting and 22 likes, which is fantastic.
One thing I did notice now, just remembered, a lot of you guys actually said my story, like you gave it a title, and it's like, no, you just start talking, right? Don't title stuff. Maybe it was because it was a homework piece and you were kind of doing that. But yeah, you're meant to just get ease into it. It's just a conversation. It's just, don't even tell people you were told to do this. You're just meant to just drop it and introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, so see, as if you were in a conversation, what Natasha said, a conversation, online conversation is the same. So, hi guys.
I would have not put Sandra, the first, but I know you were trying to tag us and everything.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that was the homework. But if you were not in here, you could have just gone I just realized that I was talking to a client, was something will give you even more social proof. Obviously here you had to do that because it was homework. But in another occasion you could have gone, I was talking to a client and I realized that I never actually dropped down to the heart and actually talked to people about my story, and that people will resonate with that. Yeah. But what box are we ticking here? Real.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What else?
And there's credibility, yeah.
0 to hero.
Yeah, 0 to hero, yeah. The story, yep.
Yeah.
With credibility, you mean credentials?
Credibility means that, she's got.
I think also vulnerability as well. There was.
Credibility means I think that it's like that. She's been there, and then now she's done the NLP, and she created a oneness integration. It sounds like wow, she knows what she's talking about. It doesn't need to be an actual certificate or anything like that. It's just more like talking about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
She also put an offer in there, which I think is quite cool.
Yeah.
Sort of like the 7 steps to living with intention. Do you know what I mean?
She's seeded.
Right.
She not so much put an offer. She's seeded that she has this program, she has this institute, but she's not telling them check me out and all that kind of stuff. We're just
She didn't sell it. She just
seeded it. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
And that's what you always need to do. Is not opening, going, hey, if anyone wants to check my thing out. People are like, no, I don't want to be sold that. I'm not ready yet. But if you just talk about it, then eventually people will start to check it out. Yeah, and that's why, yesterday we were really talking about the personal profile, because that's what people are going to engage with you first. then they're going to go into your business page. And today we're going to show you how to have that engagement. Okay, 2 more people and then we'll go? No?
No,
No one else.
because we've got to do the other 2 things.
Okay, sis, we'll do it after.
If you want feedback on your own stuff, come and see us in a break or, and we can just give you, pick your pictures, with care, put captions on them. I usually use Word Swag or Canva, things like that, where you can put captions on them to engage people even more. All right. Sorry? Canva. Canva is free to use on phone or on computers. Yeah, it's free. Yeah, and you can put all sorts of pretty stuff. Francesca and I introduce our authors and her Mafians into our groups. Have you guys, like those of you who've worked with us, you've seen the introduction little photo? You can create your own little template and that's how you can introduce your clients. It just makes it look a little bit more professional and special when they get introduced into the secret communities. And I've now created a different one for my online portal, a different one for my publishing only, and a different one for my retreat, because there's like 3 aspects of what we do. And so now my VA, I'll send them a photo. Of course, when you're friends with your clients on Facebook, you can grab a beautiful photo from them off there and you don't even have to ask them. But if you are with a client that's signing up with you, take a selfie with them, because then that's even more personal of your time together. So that's a really good way to make people feel special and introduce members. Now Facebook in groups, actually something I forgot to say yesterday, has this feature whereby it actually knows who are the new members who have joined the group, and it says invite them properly, whereas in the past people used to figure out who are my new members and then invite them. So actually now flags that you've got new members and it'll tag them, and you can do a beautiful introductory post, and you can do this in public and closed groups, to make them feel even more special, and that gets the conversation going. Okay, so next is we were going to introduce our gorgeous speaker.
Yeah.
You need to still do a time filler? Yeah. Are there any questions from what we said earlier? Yes.
Sorry, just a question about that Canva. How do you spell that? Is it
Canva? Yep. And it's a free platform. They also sell their own images. How they make money is if you want to utilize some of their backgrounds images, that you'll need to pay money. But of course you can upload your own ones, and we can use a ton of free ones. Yeah. Yeah.
In your introductory post for newcomers,
yes.
would you always put your story in there as well?
Oh, no. Make it all about them. I usually like to tell the story of how we met, who they are. If it's my clients, sorry. If it's just a public a group or one where you got many people who are also clients, no, just kind of just their name and a generic more introduction, because you really don't know who they are. Invite them to introduce themselves though. You say, please tell us who you guys are, what you do, and all that kind of stuff. Then, the conversation starts to go more 2 ways. Yep.
I don't know if this is a question, but more of putting it out there. So I found that I read a lot of the stories and they were amazing.
Yeah.
But then some stories I found that just were too long, because I've got a very short attention span.
Yeah.
So, mine is quite short because I have quite a short attention span.
Yeah, I get it.
Is there a length it should be, or is there...
I would say at least, I would go around 150 to 250 words, closer to the 250, like a 1 page, because you need to demonstrate the emotions within the story of where you've come from, your 0 to hero kind of thing. Because otherwise you're not giving people enough. And I get what you're saying, and I'm similar. But I went through, and the first bit, got me emotional, and then I scrolled down and I read it, the last bit. So everyone's different, Shelley. But when you're telling your story, you should be able to tell it in 1 minute, in 20 minutes, in an hour, And
I was always taught an infomercial as well. So an infomercial is like 60 seconds, and this is selling way out.
So if you timed me when I read Sandra's thing, that actually was about a minute. Yeah, so a minute is actually a long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a long time. It's a 1 pager. Yeah, 1 pager. So absolutely, that's what I would say. You're ready, sis? Okay, so we wanted to invite, because you guys listen to us talk for a couple of days, and on the masterclasses we normally like to have one additional guest speaker present who we believe will add amazing value to you guys. And we brainstormed when I got here the other day, and I said, who could this be?
Yeah.
And it's someone.
And we decided someone that is both of our clients, and she is being implementing and fast at everything that she does, and we really love action takers, because we are action takers, and she's doing an amazing job. So this person is...
Yes. Well, what happened? Like you said you said you were ready.
Just put her name will come up. So
Okay.
Ready, steady, go.
And I need to click?
No, you stay.
You'd said, here we go.
Da-da-da.
Ta-da! Ooh. Where's the photo? Awesome. So Diane is going, you swap, I'll introduce her. Swap the mic. You need to give it. So Diane McKendrick did a book with us in August last year. She was actually in this room when I met her. I hosted a half-day workshop here. And she came to the August retreat with quite a few people that are here at the back, and did her book in a few months after that. And then she joined Francesca at the last masterclass, wasn't it?
Sure
yes?
was, yep.
So I'm going to give you the stage. You have your timer here, and give us a little bit of...
So tell her how you saw us first, you met us first.
That's part of the story.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay.
So this is one of the first times I've been up in front of a group of this standard. Like, I've done my little stuff, and I put lots of stuff on social media. But yeah, I'm feeling it, and I'm doing it anyway. It may not be perfect, it may not be polished, but what I'm going to ask of you today is just to hold that space for me to get through the next 30 minutes and talk to you, and for my higher self to meet your higher self. I find sometimes in these events they're awesome and it's content packed, it's content, but what can happen is we get in our head. And I feel like both Nat and Francesca draw in a really energetic crowd. People know that you want more in life. People that know that there's this feeling in your tummy or in your heart that you've got a message to share, and you want to leave a legacy, and you want to create an impact. Is that right? Does everyone here want to leave an impact in the world?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, awesome. So everybody here commit to holding that space for me for the next 30 minutes to share that? Yes? Okay, awesome. Thank you. So what I wanted to start with is just touching on what both Nat and Francesca said earlier, is about getting out of your comfort zone. So unbeknownst to me, it's something I'm actually really good at. I just see it and I know I need to do it, and I do it. So who here yesterday felt out of their comfort zone? Just raise your hand. If there was any moment in time, like walking into the room, sitting down, having to talk to people. For me, I'm an extreme introvert. I get energy from being on my own. So the first time I came here, I had severe diarrhea and anxiety, and that was like, I think 3 months ago, and I really struggled just to walk in that door. So what I invite you all to do is not get up here and speak in front of 50 people, 500 people, get out there and get your message out on social media, but just take 2 millimeters. So today, I'm going to connect you into something higher than probably what you're used to. A lot of us are entrepreneurs and really successful, and I know there's better speakers out there, I know there's better life coaches, and you can guarantee that the little voice in my head that's held me stuck for so many years, when the sweet sisters rang me and said, Di, like the day before, do you want to do this? I was like, yes, of course I do. But that little voice started. And that's what I want to address for each and every one of you today. I want you to connect you into the voice. I want to remind you and let you know that you can master that voice, and you can absolutely live the life of your dreams and what you want in your life. And the easy part is you do that just by being you. So I hope today to get a little bit about you connected into that. So when you approach business and you approach life, you can do it like Francesca and Nat have taught us, and you do it from a place of truth and presence. Does that sound good to everybody? Yeah. All right, cool. My mouth's really dry. I'm going to put some water here. I have water. Yeah. All right, cool. So the first little experimental thing I'm going to do, and remember you all promised to be engaged and listen and hold this space for me, is put someone or everybody out of their comfort zone. So this is a book of mine that I wrote, and I'll go through the story a little later. But there's a $50 bookmark in this book. So the first person up here can have the book for free and the bookmark. Thank you. So open up the book. Woo! Thank you. So what I'd like to talk about right now is in that 3 to 5 seconds that it took Terry, thank you for jumping up. What did you think? You all had an opportunity. What did you think? What was that voice in your head that stopped you from coming up here? Aldwin?
I thought by the time I get out there, somebody
Yep. So time and then things in front of me, obstacles. What else did people think?
I was
Sophie?
actually waiting for you to say
And do,
What you had to do.
waiting
to
for
get
the
up.
next thing.
So you're waiting for the next instruction. Yeah, a few of you felt like that, waiting for the next instruction. All right, cool. Francis?
I don't do that.
I don't do that, yep. That's cool, neither did I, but
That's the thought.
yeah. Anybody else? Thank you.
Someone else needs it more.
Somebody else needs it more. Yep. One more.
My thought was, what charity am I going to give the money to?
What charity am I going to give the money to? That ties in beautifully with my talk today. Thank you. Okay.
I'll give it to your charity.
Thanks. All right, so each and every single one of you, when I held that book up, had a thought process. And each and every single one of you possibly felt a little bit uncomfortable or just thought, I don't want your money or your book anyway, and that's fine. But what I invite you to do right now is go deeper into that thought process. Because where in your life is what you just thought holding you back? I can guarantee that that split-second thought about getting up here and grabbing an opportunity is playing out in other areas of your life. So I invite you now to close down your eyes, and this may be uncomfortable for some of you, but it's okay. Don't worry about what the person thinks beside you because they're more worried about what you're thinking of them. I invite you to put your hand on your heart. Mine's beating really hard right now. Take a nice big deep breath. And you're going to let go of everything that happened on the morning, on the way here. You're going to let go of yesterday. You're going to let go of all the things people have told you that you should be. You're just going to clear some space right now. You're going to feel your heartbeat under your hand. And you're just going to visit that thought of what you thought about the opportunity. And you might find that uncomfortable. You might find that you're annoyed at me or pissed off at me, and that's totally fine because like Francesca and Nat said, I'm a life coach, I'm here to challenge you and push you, and if you work with me or if you work with Nat or if you work with Francesca, if you don't feel pissed off, annoyed, or like sometimes you want to have a vent buddy, they're not doing their job properly. So let's embrace this uncomfortableness. Now something else that might be a little bit uncomfortable is that I know something about every single one of you. Every single person in this room, I know something about you that possibly you don't know about yourself. So open your eyes, take your hand off your heart. What I know about you is that you are absolutely freaking amazing. Your essence and your gift and what you've got to offer the world is totally like, I can't even think of the word express it. You are amazing and you're all here because of that. But on some level, regardless of how evolved we are, who's standing up here, who's running the multi-million-dollar businesses, we all have fear and we're all scared. It's up to you what you decide to do with it. So I know even Francesca and Nat, they will have their own fears, but they've conditioned themselves. They've mastered their mind, and that's what I want to spend a little bit of time going through with you today. My role and my expertise is, and I didn't practice this, it's coming to me now, Nat keeps telling me it'll come, it'll come, it'll come, is to help you, is to get entrepreneurs who have an impact and have this feeling in their stomach, like you are the top 2% of the world, you're here for a reason. You're sitting next to the person you're sitting next to for a reason. It is my job to get out of my fear and, you know, a little bit about me and a little bit, and when you hear where I've come from and how I can stand up here, it's because someone like me stood in this spot when they felt scared. And every single one of you have that opportunity. I'll get goosebumps when I talk about this. You do. You have that opportunity regardless of where you're at in your business, your life, your relationship, your finances, to make a difference and to make the world a better place, not just for you. Because when it was about me, I stayed stagnant, I was stuck, I procrastinated. When I made it about somebody else, exactly why you took action, the action happened. The connections came to me. So I want to open up, I want to take off these masks, I want to get rid of everything society has taught you that you are, and I want my higher self to speak to your higher self, and I want you to leave here today taking action, not getting up and standing up here and getting a dry mouth and speaking in front of 50 people. Maybe that's too much for you. We might need to break it down, and I'll go through it in a little bit, but at 2 millimeters I call it, just a little bit, and eventually you will get your dreams. So the next part of, do I just press this button? Yeah, cool. So this is my little doobie. Just got to make sure I know how to use it. All right, so this is me, Diane McKendrick, and I just would like to show you a minute. Thank you. And I was a little bit scared to show that. That voice in my head was like, no, don't go do that. Because for my whole life, I was a child athlete. I ran and swam for Australia. And from a very young age, I learnt about tall poppy syndrome. And that's been my fear. As soon as I stand out and I do really well, the fear was, because the past experience was, getting cut down. But I've mastered this voice. I have mentors now who believe in me and are paving the way for me. When I get up there and do that, I've got to stand up here to say this. When I get up there and do that, and where you hear where I come from, it will make it even more magnificent. I'm not standing up there by myself. I've got her in one ear, I've got Francesca in the other ear, and every single one of you that I've met along this journey, I do it for and I do it with. So going back to where I was before I could do that, I could not have done that without the support of the mafia and writing the book. If you're thinking that you need a little bit more support, take the 2 millimeters. It might not be jumping in and writing the book straight away, but start to visualize it. Start to think about it. You can all dream, have a dream, and that's what I did. So I don't like to go back into where I came from, because part of me now in my mind is like, that's irrelevant. Where am I right now? Where am I going? And then what steps do I need to do to get there? Daily, momentarily. And I need you all to remind me of that as well. So, but I think it's relevant, and in the world of social media, a lot of people look from the outside in and just go, she's got the perfect life. I've got an amazing husband. I've got 2 well-adjusted, happy little kids. I've got awesome mentors now. I've got a fantastic community. I eat well, I train, I look after myself. It hasn't always been like that. Like I said, even 3 or 4 months ago when I first started, I had an anxiety attack before I walked in the door. And that was only 3 months ago at Natasha's retreat in August, I think it was. I could not, a couple of you were there, I could not move. I was in so much pain and agony, because for so many years I just showed up and presented. I was in the corporate world, totally burnt out, thought I was successful, that's what the book's about. But I was run down, I was tired, I was burnt out, I didn't feel like I was good enough, and it showed up in an overachieving pattern. So I feel like there's like 2 types of people, there's many types of people in the world, but the 2 most in these sort of rooms are people that completely overachieve and do everything plus 1 that the mentors tell you to do. Who's that? Who just like keeps going until you're nearly falling over? Yeah, me too. And it served me for a long time, served me getting gold medals at nationals. I was the fastest swimmer in Australia for my age group. Didn't know that about me, did you? I was the 5th or 6th fastest runner as well. And then I got a corporate job and I carried that over. And so that push, drive, sacrifice, overachieve pattern, it served me to get what I thought I wanted. It wasn't until I changed and sort of dropped into myself and asked myself more questions about what I actually really valued that then I could change my ways. So now I choose with consciousness. Yes, I have a dream. Yes, I have a vision. And so do each and every one of you. You've got to question yourself momentarily. Am I doing right now? Is this the best for my body? Is it because it starts at home? Nat said it yesterday. It starts with your relationships with yourself, first of all. So for me, I didn't even have a relationship with myself. From the outside in, I looked really successful, had a great physique, had a fast car, a big income, all that sort of stuff I thought that I was working for. But I was waking up feeling lost. So I went through that process. I then decided, I quit my job. I asked the question, who am I? So I was at work from 7 to 7. So who am I without that job? And I want you all now to ask yourself, who am I if you strip away everything? Who are you if you can't say you're an author, a mother or a parent? If you can't say all the identity things, who are you? That will open up have these conversations instead of talking about Broncos and the weather. When you go out for friends with your coffee, talk about things that actually matter. And that's why this community is so important, because you cannot see each other for 6 months or 3 months or 2 weeks, because everything's fast around here. And you come back, and I feel like the connections in this group are so solid, more than some people I've known for my whole life. I know, yeah, it's just really awesome. So I was feeling lost. I went through the burnout stage. I came through to, this is it. This is me. Everybody else is doing it. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And I don't like being told what to do. I've realised that. That's why I'm an entrepreneur, and you probably don't either. Which is why these days are hard as well. You are all very successful, awesome, amazing humans and entrepreneurs at the same time. The first couple of times Francesca with that big smile told me what to do, I was like, I don't know about that. Let me think about it. But I had to trust her. She's done it. They've both done it. They've been really successful at it. So I take what works for me, and then I choose how I go forward with it. So trusting, you're to pick the people and put the people around you that I trust. Before I got into this and decided I was an entrepreneur, I was waking up, like I was dabbling and doing a bit of Facebook and doing this, and I might have had 2 or 3 people jump on my live, my mum, my sister, and probably a friend, you know, but nothing was maintainable, and I felt like I was working really hard all the time. I can work hard, I can be a hard worker, but it's exhausting. So I was waking up feeling lost. I felt like I was screaming into the void. Does anybody else feel like that with Facebook? You're screaming into the void. You've got this message, you know it, but nobody's listening to you. Or am I the only one?
Oh, no.
Okay, good, thank you. Yes, I was screaming into the void, and I felt like I was this hamster, right? And I was on this wheel, and this is like 6 months ago. I was on this wheel and I was running, and the faster I would run, the faster it would turn. Has anybody ever felt like that? Okay, good, that's why we're all here together then. I felt like this hamster. I was constantly stressed. I was never present with the kids. I was always on my phone just trying to get the next thing, because I was feeling like I was, just didn't have the support, the guidance or the know-how, but I had the determination and I had the vision. Since I've been able to do this type of work, I've been able to refine the vision, support myself with the community, and be able to move forward in that. So that's what I want for you as well. And of course, with that comes frustration. So I want to show you the video and this, not to brag and say, hey, look at me, I'm wonderful, blah, 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 because that's a load of rubbish. What I want to show it to you for is that if you take 2 millimeters, you talk to yourself in a different way, you have a different connection with yourself, you support yourself with the right people, this is the possibility for you. And this may not be what you want, but this was my dream 6 months ago when I was burnt out, tired, and a hamster on a wheel. This is my life now. So I now have sold out events that people pay me money to come to. Surprise, surprise. This was Saturday night with my family. We put the camper van in the backyard and we all camped together. So I'm a mama, my 2 little kids, Ross who's 7 and Esme who is 4, and my beautiful, amazing husband. I run an essential oils business, which is basically holistic health, with my sister. So that's what I can spend my days doing. It's taken a very big backseat while I do this. People pay me to wear their clothes. I get to go on photo shoots, and I've set up things that are now online. So each morning I can be in your home, I can be in your head, I can create an impact in your life. Does anybody here have a really solid morning routine or ritual? Yeah, because we're in a room full of successful people, and you'll look around and the ones that have a really solid morning routine or ritual were the people that get shit done through the day. Watch it. If you wake up, even myself, I know how to do it, but sometimes I get distracted by the doing or by life, and if I don't do my solid morning routine, it just falls down, my day falls around my ankles. So now I've set up online programs, one of them being the morning musings. So at 5 a.m, you'll get a message on your phone, text message. Because it took me months to work out how to do this. To get it to your phone, right? Not to your email, because I don't want you to open your email. I don't want you to go into the rabbit warren of Facebook, so it comes to your phone. So while I'm sitting on the beach on holidays with my son meditating, I'm getting messages saying, oh my gosh, the message that you gave me today was amazing. So I'm happy to offer that to everybody here for free, 7 days free morning musings. All you need to do is send me your mobile phone number. So Facebook friend me and send me your mobile number and I'll send it to you. I get to run retreats. So I bring women and men, this one was women, all together, sold out retreats. And yeah, little old me, I didn't think I could do that, but I just took the next step. I did the next thing and I got it. And this is, Basic Me Life. That was another photo shoot I did the other week. So remembering where I was before that, like 6 months ago, I wasn't as bad as I was probably 3, 4, 5 years ago before I had the kids and stuff, but I couldn't have achieved any of this without the support and the belief of my mentors. I asked many people to be my mentors before these two rocked up, and so many people told me no. I don't even know why, but I started to get a complex. I was like, why doesn't anyone want to mentor me? Am I not good enough? Because that was the filter I was looking through. But I think I intimidated people because I'm fast. I want things, like I come across as really like goddessy, but I have a mission, I have a vision, and it drives me, and so do all of you. And when I unleash that, stuff will get done, and then we call in. So it's the best parts of science and the way the brain works, and the best parts of spirituality. That's how I run my business, that's how I run my life. I check where I need to go, and I do like call it all in, and we go forward from that place. So I want you to be able to do that too, because it's a really fun way of doing life and business. It's not hard anymore. So I had people that believed in me, and the reason I chose these two, Francesca Moy and Natasha Denman, is because they believed in me. No matter what I did, no matter what they said, they believed in me because I didn't believe in myself. And I don't have to talk to them much. I can channel them in, I can get the information, and I want to use this platform because Francesca always told me once I'm famous I can say what I want on stage. To genuinely honour what you have done for me and all these people, both of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you, and I'm just so grateful to have you guys here beside me and all you here as well. So thank you. And this as well, I've only got 8 minutes left, but I did this at midnight last night. It's not perfect, it's the wrong size. I wanted to leave it there because I was like, I've got a choice now. I can stay up for the next half an hour and freaking work out how to do this, or I can get the message across. So that's part of the message I'm going to give you, and I think it's what I'm progress, not perfection. Honestly, guys, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I didn't know how to do a live one. So I'm going to ask you right now to connect back to that voice in your head, that we got to at the beginning, and what's your 2 millimeters. And if you work with me, you see a Facebook Live, you hear me speak, you will not leave the room or leave the interaction without taking action. Because even if you're like, oh, she's terrible, I hate her, I don't want anything to do with her, you can't unhear and you can't unlearn what you just heard. So I'm in there. I'm in all of your heads. Be very careful who you let in there. So I want you right now to shut your eyes, and then we're going to go there really quick. Put your hand on your heart and choose. So whether is it, do you want to write a book? Have you got that burning desire to get the legacy out there? Is it a relationship? Is it a conversation you need to have with your partner? Is it changing what you eat? Is it drinking more water? 2 millimeters, guys, I'm not asking for much. Okay, opening your eyes. Has everybody got something? Has anyone not got anything? Because this is what you're going to talk about in your break. What's your 2 millimeters? What are you going to do to get your vision and call your legacy in? So I want to quickly talk about the book. I can go through all this book. Let's talk about this book. So not ready to write it. I didn't know how to write a book, but what I did do is I used these 5 magic tools that I was actually using subconsciously. I didn't know about it. So what I did was apply the 2 millimeter rule. I had a moment at 5:55 on a Saturday night where I was like, I have to write the book. It had been percolating. I was scared. I wasn't good enough. I can't spell, blah, 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 that voice. And it just dropped in for me in that moment because I put myself around the right people. Did I know how to write a book? No. Did I know how to dream? Yes. So what I did on the way home that night from the course that I was at, firstly I sent a message to my husband and was like, hey, this dude wants 40 grand to write a book and I have to write a book. And he's like, anyone want to guess what Gus wrote back to me? My husband? It's not you. Yeah, Gus said to me, I'll get a second job. If that's what it needs for you to get yourself out there, that's what I'll do. So I was so lucky, once again, had him to support me. Did I know how to write a book? No. Did I know how to dream? Yes. Did I know how to sit and visualize every single morning? So before I even before I started writing this book at all, I would wake up 10 minutes earlier and I would sit and visualize it. I would imagine holding it in my hands. I'd imagine handing it to people. I would imagine signing it. So whatever your vision is, how grand or how small, it doesn't matter. You all have access to that right now in this moment. Visualize it. Carve out time, because we've got here, allocate time to it. That doesn't mean you have to book in an hour every day to exercise if you're not ready to do that. But what it does mean is get up 10 minutes earlier. So I got up and I started visualizing every morning, handing this book to people. I cleared a space. Another manifesting I did, that 2mm rule, is I got your folder and your folder with the things on it. I created my own folder and wrote sold out across it. I think I sent a photo of it a couple months ago, one of my first events. So I manifested, showing up like this and sharing it and being sold out and creating the energy in the room. So did I know how to hold an event where 60 people come and paid me $100 to speak? No. Did I know how to get a folder and put it on my desk so I would walk out and look at it every day and go, hi girls, yep, I'm doing the same thing, this is me? You can all do that. So pick it, something 2mm. The other thing is scared, fear, held me back for 38 years, no longer. When I made it about someone else, it dropped in for me one day. So I was like, I want to write this book, but I can't spell and I'm terrible and blah, blah, blah. Sat down and told my mum and dad, I'm going to write this book. First thing my mum said to me was, you can't spell. And I was absolutely heartbroken. I was so broken. I got in the car and I sobbed. Did I know how to write a book? No. Did I know how to spell? Definitely not. I still can't spell. This book is not perfect, it's not polished, but it's raw, authentic, and it's me. Do you know what I did know how to do? I knew how to dream. I knew how to believe. So what did I do? Sobbing. I'm not a crier. I don't usually cry unless it's goosebumps, cool crying. But I sobbed. I was a broken little girl. That was 6 months ago. I got in the car and my husband just sat there not knowing what to say because my mum was trying to protect me. It wasn't her fault. That was the filter I was looking through. It was fear. I picked up that phone, I called, I texted every single person I knew that had written a book, where I'd seen their name somewhere, and I came across Amy Carmichael, who was like, hey, I've got this woman, this is her details. I called Nat, and I'm shy usually, I'm a really shy introvert. I said, Nat, I'm keen to write a book, and she said, oh, my workshop's next week. So I bought a ticket, I sat right there. She said, I need someone to unpack, and I'm like, pick me. I'm up here thinking, what the heck am I doing? Did I know how to write a book? No. Did I know how to pick up the phone and say, this is next? Yes. So I picked up the phone and the whole thing carried on, 2mm, 2mm, 2mm. Did I know how to do a slideshow? No, I still don't know. But I just sit down and I nut it out. So you've got to do it. When I made it about the people, so I was scared, I was told I wasn't good enough, I got kicked out of English. When I realised this book isn't even about me, yes, I'm on the front cover, yes, I'm up here, but that's irrelevant. It's about every single household, every single woman, every single family that I can help from my pain point and my void. When I started thinking like that and serving the people, it kicked my butt into taking some pretty serious action. So if you're feeling stagnant, procrastinated, make it about someone else. The fear is coming from that. You just go a grander scale and make it about someone else. Makes sense, yes? Yes, and it's beautiful that you jumped up because that's what it's all about. You need to get clear, you need to master this subconscious mind and the language. That is imperative. I have a few things I could go through, but I'm going to stick to my time or I'll never be invited back. Allocate time. I spoke about that. It doesn't have to be what you think it has to be, just a little bit. Even 10 seconds will make a difference. You need to get a mentor and a community. And that, for me, you've already got, so you're really lucky. Progress, not perfection. I think I need to start doing things. And if you saw me at home, the place is a bomb hit and I'm tripping over stuff, I'm swearing. But it's okay because I just get it done anyway. I wasn't prepared to come up here. I didn't even know how to put the sign up. Someone helped me. So I did it. Progress, not perfection. If you take nothing away today, progress, not perfection, do something. Judith is a testimonial of mine, which you can read in your own time. I'll put it on my website. I'm running the retreats now. And in closing, what I want to say to you is make a choice right now to change your life. And if you can't do it for yourself, make it about the grander scale and leaving a legacy. Implement something immediately, right in this moment. We're going to talk about it over lunch, that you have learnt today. And just remember, let's not go from here to these big things. You'll get stuck. Just pick 2 millimetre things every single day. So in closing, I have 1 minute to go. Just saying. I have a package here and it's worth $450. The first person up here gets it.
I don't know.
Touch up.
You want to be rude?
Thank you. So just before I step down in 30 seconds, thank you everybody for holding that space for me. I hope you've all taken something from that and you can implement it and go out there and leave your legacy and step forward in truth and in presence of who you really are. And when you can nail that, and it's so easy when you get rid of all the crap, and just be yourself and share your message, your journey and your vision with the world, magic will happen. I'm taking the full last 10 seconds. And when we all come together and we do it together, even more magic happens. So see each other in the highest vision always and hold yourself in the highest vision always. Thank you.
I got goosebumps. I don't know you guys. Yeah, follow me up. Can you take a photo with us, please? In the middle, come in the middle. Oh, your good side, of course. Celebrity side moment. Come on, everybody take a photo.
Thank you. Oh, let me put my arm.
You want here? One sec. Celebrity moment. Come on.
Celebrity. Oh,
Get it. Feel it. Flash, everybody, put flash on. One more here. Celebrity moment. There you go, more, come on.
Paparazzi.
Thank you, everybody. Diane, one more time.
Thank you.
I didn't get up because I already have the book, but by the way, I've started it. It's amazing. So I
Thank
really
you.
recommend that people buy it because it's really good.
So
how much is your book?
My book is $27. I have some out there and you'll have to buy one so I can make up the $50 I gave. No, thank you. I do have some. I'll grab some more out of the car.
Yes, and when's your next workshop?
My next workshop, the retreat's not this weekend, the following weekend. There's 7 spots available. Just women for this one. You'll be there. Next meetup, I've got Francesca coming to talk and she's speaking about how your business is a reflection on how you feel, which is really aligned with the way that I do life. So that's on the 28th of March in a couple of weeks' time. Cool. They're out of Ipswich. It's worth your drive though, isn't it, Wendy? And Jocelyn came as well. They drove an hour and a half, I think, to come. So I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, thank you.
Any questions for Diane?
Just remember, if you want those morning musings, send me your email and your phone number and I'll start it. I know I'm start you.
Come at 5 a.m.
Yeah, keep it on silent though. And you listen to it when you wake up, so you start your day.
6 a.m. in Melbourne, huh? Yeah, still too early.
The idea is that you have it there.
I've got a question, and I've been to Ipswich too. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, you came too. Thank
I know
you.
there were lots of weirdos in the street, but where the event was on was really cool. The burlesque play. That's true. It's true. Anyway, it was a cool venue. Anyway, the question is your morning routine. What's your morning routine, please?
The morning routine is going up on my YouTube, Diane Kendrick, so you can look it up there. But my morning routine is the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I become aware of my thoughts. Who here actually knows what they first think when they wake up? That very first conscious thought. You've got to become aware of that. If you do nothing, because what you think sets your state for the day. So if you wake up and think, oh my God, I'm so tired, you're going to get more tired. Oh my gosh, I've got so much to do is the other thing I get a lot of. So then, I'm still mic'd up. Yeah, so then you just choose. So I start with gratitude. Then I do breathing exercises that my friend Tony taught me. And I'll do it another time when I'm not taking up the next time, I'll go through it. But look on the YouTube channel. So gratitude, breathing, stretches, and just setting the intentions for the day. I do go, that's what the retreats are about, immersion and community. So all the stuff that I offer, as the sisters have told me, like I bring it together and we do 2 days full of it. So you can't get away from me. I'm in your house, I'm in your home, I'm in your head, and then we all come together. Works magic.